We're Biscuiteers, the original hand-iced biscuit company. Each year we ice around 3 million biscuits by hand, and today we'll be showing you how to ice our DIY sugar skulls, a spooky Halloween treat. If you want to learn the basics of becoming a master icer before starting this video, head to our YouTube channel where you can find out how to make and use line icing, flood icing, and how to bake our biscuits. To follow along, you'll need our DIY sugar skulls kit. Inside the tin you'll find all the equipment needed to decorate your sugar skulls. You will have some instructions, sprinkles, piping bags, icing sugar and 12 biscuits. First we need to make our icing. Put the icing sugar in a bowl and stir in a couple of spoonfuls of water until the icing is thick like toothpaste. Split the icing into two, putting a spoonful to one side. When you're happy with the consistency, open your icing bag and fold the bag down over your hand and spoon in the mixture. We want the bag to be about 2/3 full. You then need to take your bag and push the icing down to the closed end to get rid of any air pockets. Then tie a knot at the open end of it. Make a small cut at the very end of the piping bag, keeping it as close to the bottom as possible. Next, trim down the seam at the end of the bag. This creates a clean edge and allows you to see the smaller details you are icing. Pinch and put pressure on the end of the piping bag so that a small amount of icing comes out. Then pinch again to create a clean opening. Your piping bag is now ready to use. Take the remaining icing and stir in a couple more spoonfuls of water. This will make the icing thinner and will be used for our flood icing. Once happy with the consistency, take your piping bag, fold it over one hand and pour the icing in. As before, get rid of the air pockets and tie a knot in the end of it. First, let's master our piping bag technique. Hold the bag near the tip, almost like a pen. To create a mark with the icing, firstly dot onto the surface, then lift away. Drag along and you'll create a line. Just dot the tip back down onto the surface to complete it. Now you're ready to decorate. Let's get started. You can decorate your sugar skull biscuits however you like. We're going to demonstrate 3 of our favourite designs. Take your first biscuit and slowly outline the biscuit with your line icing. At each point, simply touch the tip down before changing direction to create a smooth finish. Now add the facial decorations. We added a nose, eyes and a mouth. Now take your bag of flood icing and use this to fill the biscuit inside the lines. Make sure you fill the biscuit all over, but don't add too much flood icing or it might leak over the edges of the line icing. Now take your sprinkles and sprinkle them generously over the flood icing. Use as many as you like. The flood icing now needs to dry out. To do so, put the biscuit in the oven at 50 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes. Once dry, use your line icing to fix more decorations to the sugar skull. Add a dot of line icing before placing a decoration on top. We're adding the decorations around the eyes to start with, but feel free to get creative. Once you finish adding the additional decorations, put your biscuit to one side and allow the line icing to dry. Now take your second biscuit and outline the biscuit with line icing as before. Add the facial features, but feel free to change the design. Using flood icing, fill the interior of the biscuit as previously, and once filled sufficiently, dry in the oven again for 30 minutes at around 50 degrees Celsius. Once dried, take your line icing and create a thick outline around the eyes of the skull. Take the sprinkles and pour them onto a plate or flat bowl, making sure they are evenly spread. Now place your biscuit upside down in the plate of sprinkles, tapping it down a few times to ensure the sprinkles have stuck to the icing. Now take your line icing and add more dots around the biscuit, to which you can add other decorations. Try not to do too many dots at once before adding the sprinkles. The line icing could dry out too quickly and the decorations might not stick. If you'd like, you can add even more detail by simply using the line icing. Now take your third biscuit, and instead of adding an outline, we're going to add some dots of line icing across the biscuit. While the icing is wet, place your biscuit upside down in the sprinkles again, making sure the sprinkles stick to the icing. Now take your line icing and add some more details to your biscuit, adding extra decorations wherever you fancy. Once you've added as much decoration as you like, just put your biscuit to one side to dry for 15 minutes or so. You've now created 3 different sugar skull biscuits. Continue with the rest of the biscuits in your DIY kit and enjoy.